Hello everyone. At CDW, respect in the workplace is immensely important to us. With this in mind, I want to take the time to talk to you about this priority. At CDW, our coworkers and our culture are our most valuable assets. We believe every coworker plays an integral role in our success. Several factors, meaningful factors, set the CDW culture apart. How we care for each other, our collaboration, our shared commitment to excellence. All of this defines what it feels like to work at and with CDW. Coworkers know it, partners appreciate it, customers feel it. We know that a positive workplace brings high coworker engagement, strong partner relationships, and allows our growing customer base to view us as trusted advisors. You all know about the CDW way. Think of it as our shared compass that guides how we work together. At the center of it all, we treat others with respect. Treating others with respect is critical on many fronts. It helps us to sustain a work environment where all coworkers have the opportunity to demonstrate their full potential. Our respectful and supportive culture has been crucial to our past success, and it will be key to our future. And it's important to recognize that not all coworkers will view things the same way. Remember, words and actions that may seem acceptable to some may make another coworker uncomfortable, even if it wasn't the intention. So why is all this important? Because CDW prides itself on doing everything we can to ensure all coworkers feel respected and able to be their true selves. Today's training will highlight three main themes. 1. Always be respectful and professional. 2. Be conscious of your words and actions and how they might impact others. And 3. Be ready to act if you see something inappropriate, and don't be afraid to speak up. It is the responsibility of every coworker to ensure we live the CDW way and sustain our respectful workplace well into the future. To help achieve this, we want to provide you with more information on this topic. Thank you for taking the time to watch the following video. It reviews various scenarios you may encounter in the workplace and goes over the right and the wrong ways to respond. All of us need to be mindful of each other and take every opportunity to make CDW an even better place to work for all. And remember, you make a difference.
Respect is quite the word, isn't it? It's in articles, employment manuals, and even the chorus of one of the world's most iconic songs. But what does it actually mean in the workplace? And why does it matter? A respectful workplace fosters security, appreciation, and recognition of the differences each of us brings to the workplace. A truly respectful workplace is significantly more likely to be a company where people want to work, customers want to do business, and investors want to invest. When the tone of our office is professional and respectful, coworkers are much more likely to keep crude jokes and inappropriate comments to themselves. A respectful work environment doesn't just happen. It's built carefully by everyone from senior leadership to the newest coworker. Respect can't be a program or a project. It's a way of life at work. While we all can agree that blatantly obnoxious and offensive comments are inappropriate, we also need to recognize that sometimes our actions, words, or materials might make coworkers uncomfortable without us even realizing it. It's important to understand that what constitutes respectful dialogue can be subjective. This means that people can perceive things in very different ways. We all bring different life experiences to the workplace, and as a result, something that may not offend you at all may deeply offend your coworker. To successfully navigate this, remember to think beyond yourself. This awareness can prevent you from acting on your own tendencies that might make another coworker uncomfortable. The comments that some find hilarious might be the same comments that make another person cringe. But regardless of an individual's perspective, we want everyone to experience a courteous and respectful work environment. The ability of a coworker to feel comfortable and respected while at work is more important than another person's ability to make inappropriate comments, jokes, or innuendo. Let's talk through an example. Alice works alongside two women who love to talk about their sex lives. Every Monday morning, the women share stories about their weekends, including many sexually explicit details. Alice must work within earshot of the two women and has asked repeatedly that they take their conversation to the break room or outside. The women, however, think that Alice is way too sensitive and just needs to relax. This is, of course, an example of inappropriate behavior. These sexual conversations should not be happening in the workplace, and Alice has a right to expect that her workday not be disrupted in this manner. One of the lessons we can take from this is, don't assume that what you communicate to one person won't be overheard, repeated, shown, or forwarded to someone else. It's always best to remain professional at all times. Ready to tackle a few examples of behaviors of all stripes that, while subtle, may be disrespectful? Go ahead and think about your own tendencies, actions that you and others may think are perfectly acceptable, but could possibly make a colleague feel uncomfortable. Do some of these situations sound familiar? Complaining about or disparaging a coworker to other team members instead of sharing feedback or frustrations with the colleague directly. Becoming intoxicated at an after-hours event and making workplace inappropriate comments to a coworker. Creating cliques while other coworkers feel excluded. Cutting people off that are talking. Using negative body language such as eye rolling. Whispering to someone else about another coworker in that person's presence. Telling jokes based on stereotypes. Using nicknames or telling stories that some may consider offensive. These are all examples of behavior that may be interpreted as disrespectful. Have you seen or participated in any of these? After this video, we are hoping coworkers will be more conscious of not engaging in these types of behaviors in the workplace. Next, let's talk about what to do when you encounter disrespectful behavior. Each and every one of us is responsible for sustaining our respectful workplace. We want our special culture to endure. The duty to act applies not only to coworkers involved in an incident, but also to anyone who witnesses potentially disrespectful behavior. If you are a bystander that witnesses inappropriate behavior or material, the right thing to do is speak up. In other words, if you hear or see something, say something to help and support our fellow coworkers. All coworkers are encouraged to say something in the moment. When this occurs, conflict is resolved directly, which is the best approach, and one of the values listed in the CDW way. While this could be difficult, please know that it's okay to have a healthy and respectful conversation when these incidents happen. A coworker simply may not be aware that what they're doing is offensive, so you can help address it before it's too late. For an effective conversation, try saying something like this. You may not realize this, but the comment you just made was negative and might have been hurtful. Let's try to stick with supportive, respectful communication. How about we walk through a quick example here? Imagine that Jeff notices a cartoon on a coworker's desk that could be considered racially offensive. Does he need to report it? What if he doesn't find it offensive? Because the cartoon is in the office and could be considered offensive, it's inappropriate. Jeff should first try talking to his colleague and suggesting that the cartoon be taken down. If the coworker ignores him, Jeff is expected to discuss the cartoon with his supervisor, team leader, or manager, or coworker services in order to preserve a respectful workplace culture and support other coworkers. Though reporting the cartoon could be uncomfortable, remember, a workplace where everyone feels respected is more important than this temporary discomfort. The takeaway? If you happen to overhear or witness inappropriate comments or acts at work, don't let it go. And remember, our policies don't just apply to conversations in the workplace. They also apply to verbal and written communication, including phone calls, texts, emails, posts on internal and external social networks, on CDW assets, and at workplace events. So, where and how should you report disrespectful behavior? If you find direct communication ineffective in stopping the behavior, or you are uncomfortable talking to someone directly about what you witnessed, ask for help. Escalate concerning behavior or actions you witness to your supervisor or coworker services. Alternatively, you can call the CDW Way Ethics Helpline. Callers always have the option to remain anonymous. Above all, you should not be fearful of speaking up about disrespectful behavior, as CDW is clear the company does not tolerate or permit retaliation. Anyone who does discourage, threaten, harass, or retaliate will face disciplinary action. And while it may be difficult, we expect you to speak up or report concerns, and there are multiple resources to assist you, and you won't be alone. It doesn't matter whether the problem or question is big or small. We'd much rather you ask questions than have any concerns go unanswered. To review what we learned today, here are 3 key takeaways. 1. Be respectful and professional. 2. Be conscious of your words and actions. 3. Be ready to report if you see something, and don't be afraid to speak up. CDW does not allow retaliation. The reality is this: we're all human, and sometimes people do things that may make others uncomfortable, whether intentional or not. When something disrespectful happens, the most important thing is that we respond appropriately and that we support each other as coworkers. In closing, remember that as coworkers, we are all ambassadors and protectors of the CDW brand and culture. Just as it is our joint responsibility to ensure all coworkers feel valued and respected, we must also be thoughtful in how we represent ourselves and CDW to others. This extends to how we interact with fellow coworkers, prospective candidates, customers, partners, and in our communities. At the end of the day, it all comes back to the CDW way. As we learned, a key value of the CDW way is to treat everyone with respect. Always. We are proud of our special and respectful workplace culture at CDW, and it's up to all of us to preserve this foundation. Doing so will not only continue to make CDW such a great place to work, but will also help us to achieve CDW's vision of being the leading IT solutions and services provider in the markets we serve.